Welcome to SVG-TV News for Thursday, April 11th, 2024. I am Jennifer Richardson with the details. The St. Vincent and the Grenadines Teachers Union today hosted its 23rd biennial convention under the theme, Meeting the Challenges for the Future with Solutions that Strengthen Education and Trade Unionism. Delivering remarks at the opening ceremony of the convention held at the conference hall of the SVG Mission of Seventh-day Adventist Church, newly re-elected president of the SVG Teachers Union, Oswald Robinson, said the theme is quite relevant and reflects the foresight of committed and dedicated leadership, especially going forward, confronting the many challenges that the union must face with courage, vigor, and in unison. Robinson thanked the members for electing him to lead the union for a 7th term.
To you, I am humbled by your confidence and support to continue to provide honest, dedicated, and strong leadership with the executive that you have elected to serve this biennium. I welcome the newly elected officers with open arms and to value their ideas as we continue the teamwork that has enabled the SVGTU to have effectively represented everyone. The public image of this great trade union will continue to be respected, improved, and we will continue to be a mighty force to be reckoned with. As we turn another page in the struggles of our union, we must reaffirm our devotion to serve in the various structures of our union. We must always be reminded that our motto, hand in hand, united we stand, must resonate with us. Our consistent resolve to respond positively to the call of the SVGTU must be a critical part of our testimony. The collective principle, when we are called to participate, must be a priority in making our endeavors effective.
Reflecting on the union's achievements over the years, Robinson said that they have done remarkably well, but there is always room for improvements.
We must continue to support everyone, especially those who would be critically ill, those who have lost their jobs and continue to face socioeconomic hardships. Let us pursue our objectives in harmony. Long live the SVGTU. Solidarity forever. Forward ever, backward never. I have reaffirmed my dedication to be your humble servant. And with your continued prayers, support, and participation, we shall overcome. Long live the SVGTU.
In delivering solidarity message with the SVGTU, Shelley and Alexander Ross, representing the Public Service Union, told the gathering that over the years the school system has faced many challenges, and in response the education system must rapidly adapt to the changing world to adequately prepare students for threats that could negatively impact their future. Alexander Ross said trade unions such as the SVGTU has a role to play in building members' capacity to face some of these threats.
For decades, education has been a unique tool through which human beings can access all the knowledge and information they need to interpret the world. However, to be effective educators, teachers must acquire and develop the necessary knowledge, skills, and competencies to build professional capacity. Hence, any initiative by the trade union should focus on meeting teachers' professional needs, which is a commitment to developing the professional competencies required to work effectively. In this 21st century, trade unions must devise strategies utilizing their social, economy, and political capital to harness their financial power, member strength, organization capacity, and influence. An excellent way to start is for trade unions to enhance teachers' education activities, to build consciousness, disseminate knowledge, and strengthen education for trade unionism.
Alexander Ross said it is also imperative that trade unions continuously engage their members in the need to acquire relevant skills, aptitude, and competencies that will enable them to be effective and capable workers who will remain relevant in the world of work. Minister of Education Curtis King, who delivered brief remarks at the opening ceremony, said while the Teachers Union continues to celebrate many milestones since its establishment in 1903, a very important one was its formal registration as a trade union in 1952. He also praised the union for its contribution to national development over the years.
And so you can begin the modern period in terms of your reference of the union from that time. And throughout that period from 1952 to now, this organization has made an outstanding contribution to the development of education in this country of ours. And I must dare say also that it has contributed immensely to the development of the regional teachers movement that we refer today as the Caribbean Union of Teachers. We still say so, right? Yes. I say all this to say that you're really at a meeting of a very important organization, and therefore you must not downplay your involvement in this process.
Noting that our colonial experience has left us with a legacy of underdevelopment in almost every sector of the country's development, Minister King said that legacy of underdevelopment was so marked that from independence the various administrations have been preoccupied with dealing with the deficits that were inherited in the education system relating to access, equity, quality, which he said is an ongoing campaign.
It is true, from 2001, this government has heightened that campaign and has formulated it in what is now referred to as an education revolution. But let us not fool ourselves. Yes, we have made significant strides and we have achieved a great deal. However, there are still many issues confronting our education system that we have to deal with. Some of a historical nature, others of contemporary nature. That is to say, even while we are addressing those that we inherit, there are issues that are emerging in this present period. That is what I refer to as the contemporary issues. Issues emerging because of our climate crisis. Some people call it climate change, but I believe it has advanced to a crisis. Issues relating to the challenges that we face in a changing society. Issues that were not here previously, but as our society evolves, these issues come up.
Minister King further told those at the convention that if they are to strengthen their education and trade unionism, they have to come up with workable solutions, while pointed out that there will always be tension between the government and the trade union, which should not prevent both parties from working together.
Because after all, although some persons, due to their lack of maturity, might not see it this way, but it's certainly so. We are all, whether you're a trade union, government, we are all concerned with the education of our children. And we are all working towards that. And despite the differences we would have from time to time with approaches, the common sense approach is always that there must be collaboration between both parties. And therefore, my office is always open to the trade union movement, and in this case, our teachers union, for dialogue and for dealing with different issues. And we are also, as a government, committed to creating that environment that will allow us to develop our education system in partnership, because let us not fool ourselves. Education is serious business, and not only that, all of us have to work together if we are going to advance our education.
The planned industrial action at the Argyle International Airport, the AIA, next week, Monday and Wednesday, by the Public Service Union and its members has been called off. This is according to the PSU's General Secretary, Shelley and Alexander Ross, who said that meetings held with the board and management of the AIA arrived at an amicable agreement for staff with regards to outstanding increments owed to them.
On April 10, 2024, the SVG Public Service Union met with management of the Argyle International Airport, Inc., and this was to discuss the outstanding retroactive payment that was owed to workers for the period 2020 to 2022. We are pleased to report that the AIA and the SVG Public Service Union has reached an amicable agreement. The union would like to say special thanks to Mr. Godfred Pompey, chairman of the board, and the members of his management team for exercising good industrial relation practices. We would also like to say thanks to the workers and the members of AIA for their patience and commitment, because they were the ones who were instrumental in helping us to arrive to this settlement. As a result, the industrial actions that were planned for Monday 15th April 2024 has been cancelled.
Teachers have been exposed to guidelines on how to build safe and resilient schools through infection prevention and control workshop today. The program is a collaborative effort between the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Health, which seeks to provide teachers with safe health practices. Senior Education Officer Dr. Idelia Ferdinand said the implementation of such practices is needed in schools.
IPC, the short term, is critical to schools and the Ministry of Education because most of our young people between the ages of 5 and 17 spend a greater part of the day and most of their lives, the earlier part of their lives, in educational institutions. This is an opportunity to establish lifelong health patterns and the ideal time to reach students on how to maintain a safe and healthy life.
Chief Medical Officer Dr. Roger Duncan said that with emerging new diseases, and especially after COVID-19 3 years ago, SVG has to constantly update protocols with regard to infection prevention and control in schools. Some of the areas covered today were on hygiene, personal protective equipment, management of bloody fluids, and waste management and management of exposure. The Ministry of Agriculture continues to look at ways to support farmers at the commemorative opening of Phase 1 of the Road Modernization Project in Orange Hill on Wednesday. Minister of Agriculture Saboto Caesar announced that farmers could expect to get support with tools and animals under a World Bank funded program.
As we speak, we are expanding our diversification platform for agriculture here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We are currently rolling out a $10 million World Bank program. And over the upcoming weeks and months, we are going to see throughout this country, including this constituency, persons receiving assistance to animals, hand tools, fertilizer, and we are going to continue the work in repairing the greenhouses at Orange Hill.
Minister Caesar added that his ministry will soon be asking farmers to apply for financial support to improve work on their farms. This, he said, will be done following an assessment.
We are also going to see in the upcoming weeks the application process starting from the Farmer Support Company, because in the last budget, the sum of $1 million allocated to the farmers, and the process whereby you can come and make your applications, this will begin in a few weeks. And I want to encourage the farmers, when we begin the process, we are going to go out into the different areas, we are going to meet the farmers, and we are going to assist you.
A 26-year-old man has been remanded to His Majesty's prison for the alleged murder of two Park Hill men whose partially burnt bodies were discovered on Monday, April 8, 2024. The man, who has had several run-ins with the law, appeared in the serious offences court today to have the two murder charges read to him. For the trial, police prosecutor intends to call 15 witnesses to the stand. Larissa Pugsley-Kidd tells us more in this report.
Alden Thomas of Park Hill has been charged for the murder of Brenton Barker and Calvert Smart, whose bodies were found partially burned on Monday, April 8, 2024 at 12:24 p.m. The 26-year-old Thomas, who has more than a dozen convictions, appeared before Senior Magistrate Colin John at the Serious Offences Court today. The charges read that between the 6th and 9th of April 2024, with malice aforethought, Thomas unlawfully caused the death of Barker and Smart by an unlawful act. The senior magistrate explained to the accused that the offence of murder is an indictable one. As such, no bail will be granted. Thomas's lawyer, Michael Wiley, rose to his defense to say that when he questioned police officers about Thomas's charges on Wednesday, there were no charges against him and that they were about to release him. The trial is expected to begin on July 15, 2024, and police prosecutors intend to call 15 witnesses to the stand. Thomas was one of 3 people arrested following the discovery of the 2 burnt bodies in Park Hill. The mother of one of the deceased men had indicated to SVG-TV News that she last saw her son, Brenton Barker, on Sunday, April 7th, 6 p.m., while she was on her way to the ULP rally in Arnas Vale.
He come after one Sunday for his lunch. 1:10 he take his lunch. Well, in the afternoon, I said, well, I'm going by the thing in Tarmac. While I was out by the street there, 5:45, he passed going up the road. I said, son, he said, yeah, I'm going up here. And that was my last time I speak with him.
This where he was going up?
He met us out by the crossroad out there. We was waiting for transportation, and he went up.
Okay.
Village area, they call that side village. He went up that area. And that was my last time. He had on a pretty t-shirt and a black pants and a one-shot black bag over his hand, over his shoulder.
The grieving mother called for justice for her son and the other deceased man, noting that she was pleased when the police arrested Alden Thomas, as he had been repeatedly making threats to her son.
Justice must be served. He was killed too brutal. Too brutal. He doesn't deserve this. Never expect such thing to happen. The first time in my lifetime I see such thing like this in Park Hill. There was never such thing in Park Hill in all my life.
And now she's also fearful for her life.
Well, about this thing and they take up the killer man, I don't know if when they let him go, if he would put on an attack on me. That's my only fear. But God is in control.
The mother told us that the person or persons responsible for her son's killing burnt his clothing and mattress along with the bodies in a pile of garbage behind the house he was renting at the time. A post-mortem examination on the 2 bodies were expected to be done today. For SVG-TV News, Larissa Pugsley-Kidd.
And the RSVG Police Force says in a strategic operation conducted on Tuesday, April 9th, 2024, the Rapid Response Unit of the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force executed a search which resulted in the seizure of illegal weaponry and ammunition at the Camden Park port. The force says the operation highlights the proactive and dedicated efforts of its specialized units in combating illegal arms trafficking. The seized items include 1.38 special revolver, a comprehensive assortment of ammunition totaling 2,538 rounds, covering calibers such as .40 millimeters, 9 millimeters, .380 FN 5.7 by 28 millimeters, and .22 ammunition. Additionally, an extended magazine and a quantity of fireworks were also seized. The force says the successful operation reflects its strong and unwavering commitment to combating illegal arms trafficking and ensuring the safety and security of our nation, noting that it remains dedicated to its mission of preventing, disrupting, and dismantling illegal activities, reinforcing its resolve to protect and serve the nation. The SVG Police Force is reminding the public of the ongoing gun amnesty, which commenced on March 1st, 2024, and will conclude on May 31st, 2024. During this period, individuals are encouraged to surrender any illegal firearms and ammunition they may possess without facing prosecution. No questions asked. Members of the public are also encouraged to continue providing valuable information that assists in its collective security efforts. On radio yesterday, Prime Minister and Minister of National Security, Dr. Rav Gonsalves, said security measures at the ports continue to be enhanced, noting that an electronic scanner has been installed at the Camden Park port and another to be installed at the Kingston port. The Prime Minister also urged Vincentians to be vigilant when sending and receiving packages from overseas. Several border protection challenges have been faced by the Port Authority and the Customs and Excise Department. The informal nature of ferry operations and their close proximity to the cruise terminal are just two of these challenges, according to Chief Operating Officer of the SVG Port Authority, Walwyn Nichols, on the COP Chat program today. Nichols, however, praised the effort of the police, who have been doing their best to screen persons coming and going through the port.
It's at the cruise terminal where small crafts at times might be getting too close to the cruise ships, which contravenes the ISPS code. And that too is understandable when you consider that in Rose Place, where there would have been a fishing community, that would have kind of explained why sometimes we have small crafts getting as close as possible to the cruise ships. Ports by nature can only secure its premises up to a point. It's difficult for you to secure the port from the seaside because you have to have that access for the seamless movement of cargo in particular, or in the case of the ferry terminal, passengers and the cruise terminal. So that area is a vulnerable area, and one that certainly would call for greater security involvement and security presence, maybe through routine patrolling and so forth. But it's something that we are mindful of, and efforts have been made to try and have patrols done in-house by way of the surveillance department. So that, I think, more and more we should be able to have a good hang of it and have the requisite control there.
So I have.
Second in charge of the Port Police, Inspector Dwayne McKenzie, said another major issue they have to deal with is persons entering the country illegally through the open water borders. Inspector McKenzie said in order for the situation to be under control, the Vincentian populace must first be educated and make them aware that the country's security is not just dependent on the RSVG police force, but that they too have a part to play in keeping SVG safe.
Just give us a reminder that the 3 Grenadians, that they came and they entered the country after escaping from Grenada. And that is a problem that we're having in the country, because there are so many beaches and persons could just pull up anywhere with any boat and enter. What we'll have to do is educate our citizens. Let them know that the security of the country is not only the Port Authority, the Customs, and the police. It's all of us as Vincentian. So when you see things like these, you need to report them, because we don't know what these persons are coming to do and where they're coming from. Fortunately, with the 3 from Grenada, we received information and were able to deal with it. There are persons in St. Vincent who are from other countries who are wanted in other countries. And persons will take them and hide them out in St. Vincent. So that is one of the problems. They came over with speedboats, came over with other yachts that might be stolen, and they enter and pause to welcome them. This is a problem that we are having, and educating the people will be able to help us to deal with this problem.
In reference to a report published by an online news site about the discovery of a body in High Lomans, Windward, the RSVG police force said it did not receive report of any such incident and cautions against the dissemination of unverified information. Urging media outlets to verify facts with the police, public relations and complaints department prior to publication to prevent the spread of misinformation, the RSVG police force said the premature or unverified reports can create unnecessary panic, spread misinformation, and potentially compromise ongoing police operations. The RSVGPF says it is committed to transparency and will continue to provide timely and accurate information to the public through its official channels, and encourage the media and the public to await official press releases from the police, public relations and complaints department for verified information regarding police investigations or any other matter of public interest.